Hello, I'm live on Facebook. You're all enjoying the Buddha Fields in the Web event and enjoying all the content there. Just going to start the class on Zoom. Hello, Sari.
Hello, Tim. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Yeah, really good, thanks.
Great.
How's the field online going for you?
Yeah, really well. Really nice. Yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect, but it's lovely in its own way, isn't it?
Good. Just to let you know, we're live now on the Buddha Fields in the Web Facebook page, and I'm also recording this Zoom class as well. But it looks like a one-on-one class with you and I.
Oh, bonus. I'm going to mute myself and turn my video off if that's all right.
Of course, Sarah. Yeah. Well, enjoy
it. To a blank screen, but
yeah. Great. So we'll begin on our back, with the knees up, feet up flat on the floor. And bend your elbows to come and rest the fingertips somewhere on your rib cage. So as you close your eyes and relax your jaw, you're dropping into the ground, feeling that pull of gravity on the way to the body. And as you drop and feel the mat underneath you, the ground, the earth, you bring your awareness to the breath. Coming in and out of the nostrils. So this cooler air as you inhale and warmer air as you exhale. Great. So we're just beginning the class. Hi there, Joy, just coming in. We're just starting the class with dropping in onto our back. Just lying out on your mat with the knees up, the feet flat on the floor. So we're sinking to the ground. And bend the elbows, bring the fingertips to just to rest somewhere on the rib cage. So as you drop into the ground, you can begin to feel and check in with your breath. As you inhale through the nostrils, this cooler air as you inhale, this warmer air as you exhale. And you're also feeling the breath through the sensation of touch through the fingers. And you're dropping into the ground through that plane of contact with the body and the floor and the mat. Sink into that. But keep on bringing your awareness back to this breath. Just noticing how it is in this moment, in this moment. Just its quality, its depth. And then we can begin to work with it. We can begin to lengthen that exhalation. And when the inhalation comes, deepen the inhalation, breathing sideways, outwards, bringing it up to the collarbones, to the throat. Feel the breath filling you up all the way to the nostrils. With a long, long exhalation, see if you can squeeze out more air than you think possible out of the nostrils. Keep on going, exhaling out. And then when the in-breath naturally comes, again, encouraging it to expand, to breathe sideways, outwards, upwards, breathing up the front of the body from the belly, from the navel, up to the heart center, to the throat, to the nostrils. Imagine the breath going all the way up to the forehead, to the crown of the head. And when the exhalation comes, drop into the ground through that exhalation. Let go, sink into the floor. So we're breathing this yogic breath up from the belly as you inhale, up the front of the body, chest, collarbones, throat, nostrils, forehead, crown of the head even. And then as you exhale, can you feel or watch, visualize the breath going down the back of the neck, down the spine, and out of the tailbone. So we're breathing, inhaling up the front of the body, full deep inhalation, and exhaling down the back, down into the ground. Great. All right, lovely. So we're just connecting to our body, connecting to our breath. We can begin to scan the body now. Feel into the body. Also, you're watching the movement of the mind. Just watching the thoughts that are coming and going, and trying not to hang on to such things, and trying not to hang on to any particular train of thought. Just watching it come and go. Right, let's take the hands behind the back of the head, interlock the fingers, drop the head in the hands, drop the elbows to the ground, and then we're going to lift the feet up off the ground. And we're going to begin to move with the breath. We'll inhale the heels up towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, just drop the weight of the heels down to the bum. So we're inhaling the feet up, and exhaling, just dropping the heels down to the bum. Inhaling up and exhaling down. So continue to be guided by the breath, inhaling up, exhaling down. So the breath is informing that movement. It's guiding the movement. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So we're keying into this yogic breath, drawing in this energy, this prana, into the body through the inhalation, dropping down with every exhalation. Inhale. And then exhaling the feet down towards the ground, exhaling the feet on the ground, the knees up. And just notice the changes, just notice the sensations in the body. Maybe the warmth in the legs and the thighs. Sink into the ground, let go. Inhale, exhale. Great. And then let's just roll over onto our right. So you keep the knees up. We're going to roll over onto our right side. And then you're dropping that left elbow down towards the right. The hands, the fingers are still interlocked behind the back of the head. Then we can lift that left elbow up. Take your gaze up towards that left elbow. And we're just opening up that left elbow behind the back. The beginnings of a stretch, no further, just feeling into that opening in that left side. And then we can breathe into that left side. Full, deep inhalation. Feel this expansion of the breath, filling into that left side of the rib cage, up into the armpit, the shoulder even. Long exhalation. Feel that connection with the ground, that right side on the floor as you drop into the mat. Inhaling full deep breaths into this left side, just exploring how that left side is feeling in this moment, just with the breath, with your awareness. And as we exhale, we'll roll out onto the back, and in fact all the way out over onto the left side. So same again, we're dropping into that left side, the hands behind the back of the head, then we lift that right elbow up towards the ceiling and begin to open up behind the back. The beginnings of a stretch, the beginnings of an opening in that right side. And then we can breathe into that, into breathing, inhaling into that right armpit, expanding to that right shoulder blade, even the right side of the lungs, opening, long exhalation down into the ground. Full deep inhalation, breathing into this right side, expanding into this right side. Exhaling down into your mat. Inhale, one last full deep breath into this right side. And then we'll exhale, rolling out onto the back, the knees up, sink into the floor. Right. So just check that your heels and feet are just hip width apart. I'm going to keep the heels and feet grounded, and we're going to drop both those knees down to the right. Just allow them to drop to the right. You're rolling onto the edges of those feet. The weight of the knees dropping to the right. Those shoulders, the shoulder blades on the ground. Now breathe and feel into this stretch in the left side of the body. Can you encourage that breath to lengthen and to deepen? So the breath becomes this vehicle where we're exploring the stretch in the body, this feeling in this left side. Inhale fully deeply. Long, long exhalation down into the ground. Feel that opening, feel that resistance there in that left side. And inhaling the knees up to center on the next inhalation. And we'll exhale the knees now down over to the left. And feel into how this right side is feeling this as you breathe into it. Inhale, expand. Exhale, the exhalation dropping into the ground, sinking into the floor. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, just dropping into the floor. Great. And then we can move with the breath. We'll inhale the knees up to center. Full deep inhalation. And then as you exhale, let's drop those knees down to the right again and turn the head over to look at the left elbow. When the inhalation comes, allow that inhalation to draw those knees up to center once again. And as you exhale, those knees dropping down to the left, turning to the right elbow. So continue to move with the breath. We're inhaling the knees up and exhaling the knees down the opposite way, turning the head to the opposite elbow. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And the same again. The breath is informing the movement. So the movement comes from the breath. The breath is leading that movement and not the other way around. Exhale. Inhale. Now we can enjoy that movement in the central axis, the center of the back, the spine, feeling into that. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And then we'll inhale the knees up to center. And we'll shift the hands so they're supporting the neck as well as the head. Lift the elbows up towards the ceiling. In fact, we're going to lift the head to look up towards the knees. Feel that support with the hands on the neck and head. We'll lift the feet off the ground. And we're going to do this, we're curling in. So we're inhaling up, elbows to the knees, knees to the elbows, the tailbone lifts. And then as you exhale, unravel and fold. Head, shoulders, feet, elbows. Great. Inhaling, curling up. And exhaling, unfolding. Again, moving with the breath. So this, we could say that this autopilot of the breath, we're kind of switching onto this autopilot of the breath. And then we can take our awareness and interest to the navel area, to the tummy button area. This Manipura chakra, or within that Chinese framework, this Hara. It's kind of the battery power of your being. It's where we begin to store all our prana. It's where for the first 9 months of your developing life within your mother's womb, you kind of received all the nutrients, all the nourishment, all the oxygen, everything that you needed through your belly, through your tummy button. We're inhaling, curling up, exhaling down. So feel into that. And then the next few, we're going to inhale, curl up. And as you exhale, step your feet up towards the ceiling and then slowly lowering those legs down to the ground, keeping them straight. And just before the heels touch the ground, we're going to inhale, curling back up again. Bend the knees, elbows to the knees, lift the tailbone. Exhale again, stepping up towards the ceiling and slowly lowering those legs down to the ground. Again, before they touch the ground, we're going to bend again, curling up. Exhaling out, stepping up towards the ceiling, slowing those legs down straight. And this time we'll allow them to drop onto the ground. We'll part those feet, hip width apart or mat width apart. Release the hands from behind the back of the head. Take the arms alongside the body, almost 45 degrees away from the body, the palms up. Boom, Shavasana for the first time. Now close the eyes. Relax the jaw, allow the teeth to part a fraction. Sink into the ground and almost feel like the breath is coming in through the tummy button, through the belly, like you're a porpoise or a dolphin breathing through a blowhole. Feel this inhalation coming in through the belly, expanding up to the collar, up to the chest, expanding outwards the thoracic cage, up to the collarbones, to the throat. Can you feel again that breath coming up to the nostrils, the forehead, the crown of the head? And as you exhale, watch, observe, feel the breath going down the back into the ground. So these kind of full, deep, circular breaths, feeling, breathing the breath coming up from the belly, up the front of the body. Collarbones, throat, filling up to the nostrils. Imagine the breath going to the forehead, to the crown of the head, round the back of the head, down the neck, down the spine, down into the ground. Inhale, full deep breaths here. Long exhalation down the back of the body into the ground. Allow yourself to drop into the floor, into the earth. Wonderful. We'll come back to this a little later, but let's bring those heels together. Let's stretch the arms up above, alongside the ears, interlock the fingers, turn the palms up and out, stretch the toes and heels away, have a good stretch, and then hugging both knees towards the chest. And gently rocking side to side, left and right. Allow that head to roll with that motion. Then come back to center. We'll release that right knee. Drop the right foot to the floor, that right knee up. Hold on to this left knee, just gently moving it side to side, left and right. So you're exploring the hip, exploring that left side, acknowledging how the knee is feeling so we can take that awareness through and into our practice. So we look after the joints, look after the knees. And then coming back to center, hugging that knee a little, engaging the heels, splaying the toes, and then drawing that knee a little closer to you so you can feel this deeper connection with that left hip. How does that feel? Then we'll step that left foot up towards the ceiling and supporting behind the back of the leg. So either hold behind the calf or the thigh, but avoid holding behind the knee. So feel the heel stretching up, stepping up towards the ceiling, coming to the edge of your stretch, and then beginning to move once again with the breath. Inhale the toes up towards the ceiling, and then exhale the toes down towards the face, the heel away. So forwards and backwards, up and down the foot with the breath. Enjoy as well this kind of scrunching of the toes, stretching the toes through that movement. We're feeling into the stretch in the front of the foot, the sole of the foot, the ankles, the calves, the thighs, the backs of the knees. Then coming to the center, we're going to draw a circle with the foot, rotating at the ankle one way, and then in the opposite direction. Come back to center, step up towards the ceiling. In fact, lift the head and shoulders. We're going to walk the hands further up that leg, just briefly feeling into the hamstrings, singing out to you, heels stepping up towards the ceiling, and then release that tension. And we're going to roll the head back and take the outside of that left foot onto the raised right thigh. Bring the left hand on the left knee and just gently move that left knee forwards and backwards. Just exploring this different flexion in that left hip. just feeling into it. And then coming back to center. We're going to lift the head and shoulders. We're going to take that left hand through the gap in the legs and lift that right foot up. And we're going to hug that right thigh or right knee towards us. Engage the heels away, splay the toes, and drop into the ground. Drop your awareness into the ground through the back. Now we can come back to this breath, this yogic breath, this abdominal breath. So as you take a full deep inhalation, feel the belly expand. Feel that expansion of the breath moving down into the pelvis, down particularly into this left hip, this left side, this left buttock. Long exhalation again. Allow yourself to drop into the ground through that exhalation. We're still holding this posture, but we're breathing fully deeply into that stretch, into that resistance, or into that opening in that left side. Exhale, again, encouraging that softening, dropping, sinking into the ground. Full deep inhalation, breathing into what you're feeling there in that left side. And then as we exhale, we'll unfold both feet to the floor, the knees up, and bring the hands to rest over the center of the chest, over the heart center, as you sink into the ground. And you can feel into this left side, unraveling, sinking, all the sensations there. So now within this yogic framework, we're looking at these nadis, and they begin to work with three main nadis within yoga. And the left side of the spine is the Ida nadi, the moon breath. So we're beginning to connect in with Ida, the moon breath on the left side. Inhale, exhale. Which is connected from the base of the spine all the way up the left side of the spine, and ends up coming out of at the back of the left nostril, intersecting along the way at those different energy points, those chakras. So let's approach to the right side. Let's hug that right knee towards the chest, gently moving it side to side, left and right, feeling into this loosening in that right hip, acknowledging how the knee is, so we can take that, carry that through, that awareness through into our practice. Bring it back to center, hug the knee, engage the heels, splay the toes, feel this deepening connection in that right hip. And then we can step that right foot up towards the ceiling, supporting behind the back of the leg, either behind the calf or the thigh, but avoiding behind the knee. We're stepping up towards the ceiling, and then we're beginning to move with the breath. Inhaling the toes up towards the ceiling, exhale the toes down towards the face, the heel away. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Inhaling up and exhaling down. So we're encouraging this flow of prana through the right side with the breath. Coming back to center, drawing a circle with the foot, rotating the ankle one way. And then in the opposite direction. Coming back to center, stepping up towards the ceiling, walking those hands further up that leg, chin, the head lifts, coming up, feeling into that stretch in the back of the hamstring there. And release that tension. We bend that right knee and take the outside of that right foot onto the raised left thigh. With the left hand on the foot, the right hand on the right knee. Just encourage that knee forwards and backwards. Again, you're just exploring that range of movement there, feeling this different flexion in the right hip, acknowledging how the knee is, how the hip is, just observing, just watching. So this yoga, it's the Vedantic science. So the body has become the kind of a laboratory of just watching and observing, feeling. Now let's come back to center. Let's lift the head and shoulders. We take that right hand through the gap in the leg and we lift and hug this left knee towards it. So engage the heels away, splay the toes, and drop your awareness into the ground through the back, through that lower back, all that connection with the floor. Now we can come back to breathing. So don't forget to breathe. We take this full deep inhalation. I feel this expansion of the breath from the belly moving into this right side, into this right hip. Long exhalation down into the ground. Inhale fully deeply. Long, long exhalation. So inhale, exhale. Full deep inhalation. And as we exhale, we'll unravel. We'll take both feet to the floor, the knees up. Come to rest the hands over the center of the heart, the center of the chest again, as you drop your awareness into this right side. And on the right side of the spine, there's Pingala Nadi, the sun breath. So beginning at the base of the spine, intersecting along the way up, it comes up and ends at the right side of on the back of the right nostril. So just feeling into the right side, just seeing, observing. Feeling your hands resting against your heart center. You sink into the ground. Right. And as we begin to balance this left and right side, the sun and the moon, or the Hatha yoga, we're balancing the sun and moon. The prana is encouraged to come more freely or flow more freely through our central axis, the central nadi of the Shushumna, which runs up the center of the spine, or the parasympathetic nervous system. So let's bring the soles of the feet together and drop the knees open and down to the ground. And the weight of the knees might open up the hips beyond their limit. So you could lift these knees up just a fraction of a millimeter maybe, just to ease off. And let's tilt the pelvis forwards and backwards. So you're kind of pushing the lower lumbar down to the ground, tilting forwards and releasing, tilting forwards, releasing. And coming back to center, just coming back to a stillness. We lift the head and shoulders. We're going to take the hands down towards the feet, lift the feet off the ground, still the soles up together, and hold on to the feet. Now, can you push then the heels back down to the ground, just ever so slightly? You're feeling this a deeper stretch onto the inside of those thighs. And then from there, we're encouraging the feet to journey up towards the head. We can take the hands maybe through the gap in the legs to the outside of the feet, and find where you are with that journey. I mean, maybe those heels, those ankles are behind the back of your head, but not for me today. Just find where you are on the journey of this and breathe into it. Just find your balance there. Feel into that posture, opening. And then releasing and folding. Feet to the floor, the knees up. Once again, just resting the hands over the heart center. Sink into the ground. Allow this prana to flow through you. So any of you who are maybe practicing healers or Reiki, there's this whole flow of prana that flows through those hands. Just bringing this healing energy to you. Just sink into the ground. Great. So let's hug those knees towards the chest. Gently rock side to side, left and right. Allow that head to roll with that motion. And let's roll over onto one side and come up onto all fours. So planting the hands underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips. And let's draw a circle with the hips moving one way. And then in the opposite direction. Coming back to center. So there's a different relationship with the ground, with gravity and the weight of the body. So let's just ever so slightly take the weight over onto the hands, just coming forwards onto the hands. Feel the hands, the fingers splayed, the hands grounded. And then on the exhalation, we'll draw the tailbone back towards the heels, almost this engaged child posture. So the tailbone sit down to the heels, keep the hands active, keep the fingers splayed, the arms long, don't drop the elbows, feel these arms long, carry on, and then we're dropping the forehead down to the ground, just breathing there. Just feeling into the shoulders, the shoulder blades, seeing what's there, what's present. And then on the next inhalation, we're moving forwards and through, inhaling forwards. And again, it's a journey. So if you feel any tension or any discomfort in the back, move away from it. But we're going to tilt the pelvis forwards, thighs down to the ground. We're going to journey this again, a journey, move away from it if you need to, but we're lifting the chin, lifting the head, lifting the gaze of the eyes up towards the forehead, up towards the ceiling, taking a full deep breath here. In this prana, traveling up to the third eye, the Ajna chakra, the seat of our intuition. A few breaths, and then exhaling, pushing back forwards, pushing the tailbone back towards the heels, stretching out and dropping and connecting that forehead, that third eye, the Ajna chakra down to the earth, down to the ground, exhaling out. Inhaling forwards now, we're moving once again with the breath. So allow your own breath to guide this movement, inhaling forwards and through and up, looking up towards the ceiling, the forehead, and as you exhale, moving back towards the heels, stretching out, dropping into the ground. A couple more times, inhaling through and up. Exhaling back. Let's come over forwards and over onto our bellies. Let's drop down and rest the chin in the hands. Just find a comfortable place for these elbows, maybe not too far away so it impacts on your neck, not too close so that this discomfort in the lower back, but somewhere in between. And then we can gently rock side to side, left and right, just loosening up. Then come back to center. Maybe close the eyes, allow the weight of the head to drop into the hands. And then we can scan the body. Just part by part, allowing the body to relax. Maybe starting with the toes, the feet, the ankles and heels, easy enough. Dropping and softening, melting. The calves, the shins. Feel the knees, the backs of the knees. Relaxed, and the thighs, the groin, the muscles in the bum, and moving into the realm of the back, the lower back, middle back, upper back. What's present there? Can you feel into the sensations of the back and explore the back with the breath? So take this full deep inhalation and a long exhalation. Feel this soft belly against the ground. Moving with the breath, exploring the back, encouraging the back to soften, to relax. Your hands, your arms are holding you up there. Right. And then we'll release the hands. We're going to shift the elbows underneath the shoulders. We're going to drop the hands down, splay the fingers. So I'm kind of moving into this Sphinx posture and just get comfy there. And then before we come up, we're just going to drop the head forwards, relax the neck. Just to drop the weight of the head down, just breathing into that until we're just kind of shining a spotlight onto the shoulders, onto the neck. The kind of the usual suspect of where we hold much of our day-to-day tension. So just feel into what's present there. Just watch, observe, nothing to be done. And then from there, we can then lift the chin and head again, just looking forwards. We push into the elbows, we roll the shoulders back, and then the crown of the head is lifting up towards the ceiling. Feel the chest and forwards. Take some full deep breaths here. Inhale, exhale. So again, encouraging the body to relax in the posture. So starting with the toes and the feet, ankles and heels, easy enough. They're not engaged. The calves, the shins, the knees, the backs of the knees, soft. The thighs, working and feeling into the muscles in the bum. Looking at the sensations in the lower back, the middle back and upper back. Just can you breathe again into that? So take some full deep breaths. And as you do, watch the breath traveling up the back, up the torso. Inhaling up to the shoulders. Long exhalation down into the ground. Full deep breath, expanding up the front of the body as well. Breathing up to the shoulders. Feeling the back. Long exhalation. As we exhale, let's turn the head over to the left. Just turning the head over to look over towards the left shoulder. Now feel into that left side and breathe into that left side. Explore it with your breath. Inhale, full deep inhalation. Into that left shoulder, left side of the neck. Long exhalation. Allow again this dropping, this softening with every exhalation. Inhale fully deeply. Exhale, just observing what's there. Inhale. And we'll exhale the head back to center. And in fact, all the way over to look over to the right shoulder, just slowly. Now see what's there in that right side. Can you breathe into that, into the shoulder blade? Full deep inhalation. How's the right side of the neck? Long, long exhalation. Inhale fully deeply. Exhaling down to the ground. Inhale. Exhaling the head back to center. Inhale, pushing into the elbows. Crown of the head lifts, shoulders engaged, hands, fingers splayed. Just a little less effort. Thighs engaged even, toes away. Feel this stretch in the curve of the back. And then as we exhale, we're going to make a pillow of the hands, roll down, turn the head one way, and just rest there flat on the ground. Close the eyes, relax the jaw, sink into the floor. And often, even in these places of relaxation, we still continue. In fact, we do a lot of the work here. And the work is just observing with awareness how the body unravels, how the body unfolds. You're continuing to let go into the ground, dropping into the earth. And feel the residue of tension there in the neck. Can you just observe what's present there in the body? Beautiful. And then we'll bring the forehead to the ground and we'll take the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the elbows into the body, just gently wiggle side to side, left and right, just loosen up. And then bring the big toes touching if they're not already. And can you roll the ankles and heels towards one another? And as you do, tense the thighs, tense the buttocks, and we're going to inhale that right leg up off the ground, pointing those right toes away from you. It doesn't have to come up far, just feeling that stretch. And then exhale that right leg down. Inhale that left foot up, left leg up, keeping it straight, pointing the toes away. And exhale that left leg down. Inhale that right leg up once again. And down. The left leg up. And down. And then we'll inhale both feet, both legs up off the ground, pointing away. And exhale both legs down. But still with that feeling, lift the chin. Feel that engaged feeling of the legs, the feet pointing away. Lift the chin, lift the head, lift the hands. Plant the hands back down the ground, tuck the elbows to the body, drop the shoulders. Just a small cobra. We don't have to come up far. We're just feeling into the beginnings of that cobra, of what's possible. The bums tense, the thighs engaged. Feel the stretch. Feel the hands supporting you. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, one last full deep breath here. And as we exhale, we'll make a pillow of the hands and turn the head the opposite way. Sink into the ground and drop into the floor. Inhale, exhale. Let go. Inhale, exhale. Continuing to watch the body unravel, sink into the ground. And we'll bring the forehead to the ground, the hands underneath the shoulders. Let's push ourselves up onto all fours again. In fact, let's come back into a child. Sink into the child. Tailbone back towards the heels, forehead drops to the ground. We can take the arms behind us, the palms up, allow the shoulders to roll open. And here we'll shift the breath. So we'll inhale through the nose and exhale out of an open mouth. Inhaling through the nose, exhale out of an open mouth. Inhale, exhale. Now we'll stretch the hands out in front. We're going to come back up onto all fours. And then we're kind of moving into the cat stretch. So even if you've done it kind of 1,000 times, let's just set it up. We bring the hands underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips, drop the belly, tilt the tailbone up towards the ceiling, feel this curve of the lower lumbar. And then from here, we're going to lift the chin, lift the head, and take the gaze of the eyes up towards the ceiling. So it's a mudra, it's a bandha, a lock that's stimulating that pineal gland in the center of your skull. Breathe fully, deeply up to that point, up to here. Feel this expansion of the breath, long exhalation. Inhale, exhale. Inhale fully, deeply. Exhale. Inhale again. And then as we exhale, we're going to roll that head forwards, tilt the pelvis forwards, tailbone down, push into the hands, drop the head, relax the neck, arch the back. And take your awareness, with a few breaths here, take your awareness to the belly, to the navel area, again, that's the Manipura chakra. The seat of your power, your energy, your prana. Just feeling into the belly. And then we'll move with the breath. Inhaling forwards and through and up, lifting the chin, lifting the head, lifting the gaze of the eyes up towards the forehead, the ceiling. And then as you exhale, forwards and down. So long, deep breaths, long exhalations. And be guided by your own breath. Allow, again, the breath to inform this movement. So we're inhaling forwards and through and up. Exhale, forwards and down. So we're kind of switching on the autopilot of the breath. And from there, we can get interested in what's happening with the back. Enjoy this movement of the spine, the individual vertebrae. So there's this kind of wave happening in the back. Feel into that. Inhale. Exhale. So again, just encouraging this flow of prana through our central axis of the Sushumna, the parasympathetic nervous system. So we'll come back to on all fours, just come back to the stillness. Let's curl the toes under. Again, we'll approach this downward dog. But to begin with, just don't engage the knees. Keep the knees bent. So we're pushing into the hands, lifting the tailbone up towards the ceiling, dropping the head, relaxing the neck. And from the balls of the feet, you're pushing the tailbone up towards the ceiling, relaxing that, dropping the head, feeling then you're pushing into the hands, roll the armpits up towards the ceiling, roll the shoulder blades are engaged. Lovely. And then from there, you can begin to explore the stretch in the backs of the legs. Now, the overstretch, just feel it. Maybe you could take half a step forward, but then we can begin to journey the heels down to the ground. They might not, so just feel where you are with them. Don't overstretch, don't push them, don't force them. But we'll begin to feel the stretch in the backs of the legs there. Just hanging out there for a moment or two. Inhale, exhale. And then we're going to look forwards in between the hands, and we're going to bend that right knee, and we're going to bring the right knee forwards and through and drop the knee on the ground in between the hands. Right. There's a couple of ways we can get into the pigeon, but we're going to collapse out onto this right buttock, onto this right side. Lovely. So, and here we'll just open up this right heel open just a little bit. so that then we stretch this left leg back. So as we push into this right hand on the ground on that right side of the leg, we're going to push into that right hand, and we're lifting that left hip out over that right heel. But go easy on this. So if this knee is at all whispering any sort of complaint, listen to the knee and not me. So just maybe hang out there. If that's where you are, that's where you are on the journey. We're all journeying together. So we're lifting, pushing that right hand, feeling supported of that left hand as well. The hips now are possibly square onto the ground, maybe. And if the hips are square onto the ground, maybe we can walk the hands out in front, fold out over that right thigh, drop the forehead to the ground, and sink into that sensation, breathing. Don't forget to breathe. So you'll notice when we kind of focus on anything, or we find something discomfort, the breath will kind of reflect that. Maybe become shallow, or even to a point of holding the breath. So encourage that yogic breath again. Encourage this long exhalation down to the ground through the nostrils. Inhale fully, deeply, breathing into those sensations, that resistance, that opening in that right side possibly. Then we can lift the head. We're going to walk the hands back up to the body. We're coming towards this pigeon posture. So we're coming onto the fingertips, our hands on either side of that right knee. And then from the fingertips, we're pushing into the fingertips, lifting the chin, like we're lifting the chest, lifting the chin, lifting the crown, the head up. Again, taking the gaze of the eyes up towards the forehead, dropping, relaxing the shoulders if you can. Full deep inhalation, feeling into the stretch there, the whole of the body. And then exhaling, releasing, walking back out over that right thigh, right side, dropping the forehead to the ground. Great. And then we're going to collapse out. We're going to kind of roll out onto that right buttock. And we're going to come up. Here we're going to help this left leg forwards, left knee forwards. I'm going to bring this left knee or left foot to step out over that right knee. Now just check in with how that knee is feeling, because if this is too much for it, we can stretch that right leg out. Stretch that right leg out. So I'm going to just shift my position. So we're here on this right buttock. We're either with this right leg straight, and we're going to sit that left bum back down to the ground, left cheek down to the ground. Just make sure there's enough room for the bum to sit on the ground, this right heel away from you. Feel into that. Again, these knees, if they're whispering any complaint, listen to them. Stretch that right leg out, and you find that we're still going to be doing the same kind of work together. So from here, we're going to hug the knee, finding your plumb line of the back, the spine, so the crown of the head lifting up. So we're going to bring a twist to it. So as the crown of the head lifts up, we're hugging that knee, helping that elongation. And we're going to stretch that right hand up towards the ceiling. Now, can you take that right elbow out over that raised right knee, right thigh, kind of locking there. Take the left hand on the ground behind you, almost in the center of the back if you can. Just again, a journey. Push into that left hand. Find your plumb line again. Find this lengthening of the back and the spine. Right, and then from there, we can turn out over the left shoulder. Turn out over the left shoulder. So the movement's coming from the collarbones as the collarbones open up away from one another. And you can encourage that to happen, pushing into the ground, or just feeling this resistance with the elbow against that raised right knee. Turning out, feeling this twist, breathing into the twist. Inhale, fully, deeply. Long, long exhalation. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Then coming back to center. We're going to do a little alternate twist out to the right. Slowly moving and coming back to center. Great. So the journey of this left knee is coming out over the right. And we can do that by just encouraging this left heel back. So just see where you are with this. It might be just here. It's again a journey. We're just feeling into our own boundaries, our own perimeters, our own bodies, and working with that. You could help yourself up, maybe, but just tentatively sitting back down. Rest the hands on that knee. Again, we're going to find our plumb line again. So just with this kind of you could almost lean forwards and then come back to finding, exploring where that is, how that feels in the hips, the crown of the head lifts. And then we're going to bring the hands, the fingers to the collarbones. We'll roll those elbows round and open up across the heart center as we open up and stretch these arms out. Little fingers curling up towards the ceiling, sinking into the seat bones, into the hips. Inhale, exhale. Feel the shoulders engaged. Feel this heart center opening out in front of you. And then give yourself a hug with the left arm over the right. Just embrace your being. Maybe close the eyes. It's okay. Feel into the hips. Feel into the sensations. Breathe into them. Great. The elbows are going to stay where they are almost, but we'll bring our hands into that prayer position as if you're kind of doing an eagle posture. So the palms of the hands coming together. And then we're feeling into, again, these two polarities, this lifting up of the fingers. As the elbows lift up, the crown of the head lifts up. Can you feel this increased weight dropping down into the earth through the hips, opening up the hips, the seat bone, dropping into the seat bone. Inhale, exhale, just feeling into that. And then we'll release that. We can take that left hand over the left shoulder, the right hand behind the back, those fingertips searching for one another. Maybe they reach each other, maybe they don't, but don't force it. Don't try and force the journey to its end point. We're just watching how our bodies are with this yogic journey that we're on together. Okay, release that. We pick up this left side, this left knee. You're just gently rocking it side to side, left and right, just loosening it. You could even step that foot into the crook of that right arm, just rocking it like a baby. Right, and then place that left foot in front of you. Then we're kind of shifting to this kind of cross leg posture. So the left foot is in front of the right. The shins are kind of parallel to the body. And then we're going to bring the knees in and walk the ankles, the heels out, so that the ankles and heels are almost in line with the knees. Lovely. It's kind of a square box. And then from here, we're going to just tentatively, just walking the hands out in front, just slowly exploring along the way, feeling free just to pause and observe, just feel into how the body is reacting, breathing into it, feeling into that maybe we call them the gross sensations of the pelvis, the hips. As you relax your head, relax the neck, drop down towards the ground and breathe. Inhale, full deep inhalation, this prana coming into the body, exhaling down, apana down into the ground. Inhale, exhale. Great, and release. Let's walk those hands back up. Bring these knees up. Maybe hug the knees, balance on the tailbone, close the eyes. Moving into this ball of light. You are. Okay, let's plant those feet back down on the ground. Take the hands behind you. Let's help ourselves up onto our feet. So we're coming towards a squatting posture. Just maybe coming down to the balls of the feet, the toes, spraying the toes. Just checking if they're hip width apart. And then as the journey of the heels drop down, see if you can encourage the outside of the feet to be parallel to one another. So maybe, again, we're all dropping the heels down, but find your balance wherever you are. You're going to fold the hands over onto the opposite shoulders, roll the head down, relax the neck, sink into this into the ground, into the feet. Just hang out there for a moment or two. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And release. Let's come up. Let's take our hands in front. Going to come back up onto all fours. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Let's push ourselves up into that downward dog again. Soften the knees to begin with, just briefly. Crown head dropping down, relaxing it. Then we can feel the heels of the feet coming down to the ground. Bend. We look forwards towards the hands. Bend the left knee. Bring the left knee in between the hands and kind of collapsing out over onto that left side. Just check that there's enough room for that the left heel. Just opening up a little bit so that this right hip, so when we push this into this left hand, hands on either side of that knee, the knee's in the center. When we push into this left hand to lift this right hip, it rolls out over that left heel. So then we're lifting up the hips are square. And again, this knee, just listen to what it's telling you to do. It might be telling you to do something completely different. So listen to that. So we're lifting up, maybe we're square onto the ground, just walking the hands out over that left thigh, dropping the forehead to the floor. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Sinking into that opening. Walking the hands back up. Coming up onto the fingertips on either side of that left knee, pushing into the hands, lifting chin, dropping the shoulders, taking the gaze up towards the forehead, towards the ceiling, breathing deeply. And then releasing, rolling back out, and over this left thigh. Lift the head slightly, and we'll collapse out over on that left side. We help this right leg up and out over, stepping out over that left knee. Again, this is where you check in with your knees. Maybe that left leg needs to be straight. Maybe you're okay here. If you're fine there, we'll sit back down over onto that right side, just checking there's enough room there for that right, left heel away. We hug the knee, find your plumb line, the crown head lifts up. We lift that left arm up towards the ceiling and stretch that left elbow out over that raised right thigh. The right hand up behind you, pushing into that right hand, the crown head lifts, looking at finding your plumb line before we bring that twist to it. Even though you might have done it 1,000 times, we just keep on bringing our awareness back to that central axis, the spine, turning out over that right shoulder, helping and encouraging the twist, pushing into the hand on the ground, feeling the resistance against that raised left thigh. Inhale, exhale, and release. We'll come forwards, out, over to the left, back to center. Journey of this right knee is coming out over the left again, a journey. This right heel is coming back to the left hip, maybe. Help yourself up. Ease yourself into it. Rest the hands on the knee. Find your plumb line. The crown head lifts. Fingers to the collarbones. We roll those elbows round and out and open up across the heart center. Curling the little fingers up towards the ceiling. Giving yourself a hug with the right arm over the left. Embracing your being. Sinking into the seat bones, into the hips. The elbows stay where they are, those hands come into that prayer position. This kind of eagle. Then again, this crown, the head lifts, the fingers lift, the elbows lift up towards the ceiling. And there's this increased weight dropping into the seat bones, opening up the hips. Breathe. Exhale. And release. We take that right hand over that right shoulder, the left hand behind the back, those fingertips searching for one another. Maybe they reach each other, maybe they don't. See where you are with that. And release. Let's pick up this right leg, right foot. Gently rocking it side to side, left and right. You could even step that right foot into the crook of that left arm. And release, taking it forwards in front of you. And we'll shift into this cross-leg posture. The shins parallel to the body once again. These knees coming in, the ankles and heels in line with the knees. And then from there again, just tentatively, just walking out, just feeling your edge, breathing into it. Inhale, exhale, and dropping into the ground. Allowing that head to roll forwards, relax the neck. Breathing into what you find. This opening. And walking the hands back up to you. Hugging the knees, balancing on the tailbone, closing the eyes. This kind of floating orb of light that you are. Feel into this inner being, this inner self. This deepening awareness of your deepening consciousness. And release. Let's stretch those legs out in front. In fact, shake those legs out in front. Set up this forward bend. So just the heels of the hands in line with the bone. We're pushing the hands, splaying the fingers, rolling the shoulders back, the crown of the head lifts. Find your plumb line. Bring the hands into prayer position. The forearms parallel to the ground. And now we're leading forwards with the chin folding at the waist, coming at the waist. So we're keeping a straight back, just coming to the edge of your resistance. You can't go any further. And then release, hold on to the ankles, the shins, maybe the toes. But wherever you are, the crown of the head. So it's not a collapsing. We're not collapsing down, but the crown of the head is lifting away from the tailbone. So we're encouraging the whole stretch up the back of the body and feeling this long line of the back and the spine. Now take a full deep breath. So you come into your own edge. So we're not creating so much tension that we're agitating the mind, and we don't really want to be there, but we're just enough to breathe into, relax into, soften. Feel into the stretch, the opening. And then stretching forwards and up, and release. Okay. Take the hands behind you. So either the fingers pointing towards you or away from you, whichever's more comfortable. And then we'll bend the knees, bring the feet hip width apart, and we're pushing up into this inclined plane, this tabletop. Inhaling up, pushing up, feel the hands, thighs coming parallel to the ground, maybe chest up towards the ceiling, dropping the head back, relax the neck, take some full deep breaths here, filling your being with prana. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, and exhale, rolling out onto the ground. Keep the knees up, roll out onto the back. Put the arms, palms up, sink into the floor. Close the eyes. Relax the jaw. Maybe you can hang out there. If it feel to, we could stretch those legs out again. Heels mat width apart. Shavasana. Sink into the ground. Let go. Just scanning the body. Part by part. Bit by bit. Encouraging the body to relax, to soften. And just watching that process unravel, melt and dissolve. the toes and the feet, the ankles and heels, the calves, thighs. Feel the backs of the hands heavy on the ground. Fingers, the palms relax. The forearms, elbows, upper arms and shoulders. Dropping down into the ground. Feel the weight of the head on the earth, sinking into the floor. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Let go. Then bringing your awareness back to your bodies, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, bringing your heels together, stretching your arms up above you, just having one last stretch. And in your own time, maybe rolling over onto one side, and just coming up to a comfortable cross-legged posture, maybe taking a cushion and just popping that underneath your tailbone. Bring the hands into Chin Mudra, possibly resting the backs of the hands or the front of the hands on the knees. Close the eyes, relax the jaw. Bring your awareness to the breath, coming in and out of the nostrils. Just checking with how you're feeling. Inhale, exhale, and then rounding off our practice with these 3 Oms, 3 Shantis. And just encouraging you just to observe and watch, follow the journey of the sound within you. And the Om, if you were to spell it, it would be A-U-M. So just feel into that sound, inhaling together. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Just slowly opening your eyes. Namaste, everyone. Thank you for joining the class. Enjoy the rest of your Buddha fields in the web. Enjoy all the different stuff that there's there to offer.
Thanks so much. That feels wonderful.
Wonderful. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest.
Thank you. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.